So what if the reason you feel like you're constantly losing isn't actually because you're failing, but because you're playing the wrong game altogether? Today, we're diving into how to win the infinite game of life.
You know that feeling, right? You're working harder than ever, trying to crush the competition, but any win you get, it just doesn't last. You're completely exhausted. Maybe you've even found yourself staring at your phone at like 2:28 in the morning, wondering why all this success feels so empty. Well, if any of that sounds familiar, there's a really good reason for it.
And boom, that one idea, it changes everything. The burnout, the constant anxiety, it's not because you're messing up. It's because you've been trying to win using the wrong rule book. So to figure out the right game, we first have to understand the two types of games we're all playing.
To really get why so many of us feel stuck, we have to nail down this one core distinction. I promise you, getting this right is the key that unlocks a whole new way of looking at success and fulfillment. Okay, so here's the breakdown. Think about a finite game, like football. You've got known players, a fixed set of rules, and at the end, a clear winner and a loser. The game ends. But life, business, your relationships, those are infinite games. The players are always changing, the rules can shift, and there's no finish line. The whole point isn't to win, it's just to keep playing as well as you can.
And here's the problem. Most of us are applying a finite, I have to win mindset to these infinite games. We get obsessed with beating the competition and hitting those quarterly numbers. And this leads to something called willful blindness. We literally start sacrificing our long-term health, our trust, our creativity, all for a short-term win in a game that actually has no end. So if you can't win in the traditional sense, then what's the point? Well, the point is to shift your entire perspective, and it all starts by redefining who you're actually competing against in the first place.
This right here is the absolute foundation of an infinite mindset. The goal isn't to be number one, it's to be better this year than you were last year. It's all about continuous improvement, not about getting a trophy. You stop looking over your shoulder at what everyone else is doing, and you start looking inward.
So, what about everyone else then? Well, they're no longer your competition. They become your worthy rivals. See, if someone out there has a better product or a more disciplined routine, that's not a threat, it's a gift. They're like teachers who are pointing out your own weaknesses and showing you exactly where you need to get stronger.
Now, playing an infinite game needs a totally different kind of fuel. It's not the quick high of a quarterly bonus. You need what's called a just cause. This is your why. It's a positive, inclusive, service-oriented vision of the future that's so compelling, you'd happily sacrifice your own short-term interests just to help move it forward. This is the stuff that keeps you going year after year.
Okay, so that's the theory. It all sounds great, but how do we actually start playing this way? Well, the strategy really breaks down into 3 core actions.
The 3 pillars are pretty simple. Eliminate, serve, and manage. First, you clear away all the noise. Then, you focus your energy outward, on others. And finally, you have to master your own internal world. They might sound simple, but each one is a huge shift in how we usually operate. Let's start with elimination. You know, most of us think finding our purpose means we have to add more habits or new goals. But the infinite player knows it's really about subtraction. It's about identifying what antagonizes your character. You know, that job that just drains your soul, or that habit you know is holding you back, and then having the guts to remove it. When you get rid of what isn't you, what's left behind is who you really are.
Next up, you've got to shift from a mindset of fame to one of service. Our culture loves to admire people just for being famous, but lasting value, true value, isn't about being known, it's about being significant. It doesn't matter if you're a CEO or a chef. Excellence in your service is what makes you unforgettable. Think of it like a law of motion. The quality of energy you put out into the world is what comes back to you. And finally, let's be real, none of this works unless you can manage your own internal state. You can't lead a team, you can't create amazing work, you can't serve a just cause if you're a lousy manager of your own mind and body. This is the ultimate leadership challenge.
And here's why managing yourself is so incredibly critical. Right now, most of us are only functioning on about 2% of our true potential. Yep, just 2%. The other 98% is this huge reserve of power we almost never tap into. Unlocking that requires a deliberate, intentional cleaning of our own mental hardware. Yeah, think about it this way. All that rambling, unconscious chatter in your head, old thoughts, worries, limiting beliefs,
That's basically mental diarrhea. And you can't possibly write a new, powerful story for your life if your mind is completely cluttered with the old one. You've got to wipe the blackboard clean first.
So, let's bring all of this home. How do you take these big ideas and make them real for you right now? Well, it starts by confronting one simple but totally liberating truth.
Now, this isn't meant to be dark or depressing. It's meant to be focusing. Your entire life is just the gap, the dash, between the day you were born and the day you die. When you really truly get that you're on a limited lease, the desire to do things you don't care about just falls away. You get serious about how you live.
So, I'm going to ask you directly. If you had all the time and money in the world, if failure was totally impossible, what is the one great thing you would dare to do? What is your just cause? Don't filter it. Just think about it for a second.
Once you have a sense of that dream, don't get overwhelmed by the whole massive journey. That's a surefire recipe for paralysis. Your only job is to ask yourself, what is the next right move? Just one. That's it. That's how you start building momentum toward an infinite future.
Because ultimately, this all comes down to you. It's time to stop playing that finite game of comparison and burnout. It's time to start playing the infinite game of legacy and growth. Because you are the master of your fate and you are the captain of your soul. And it's about time you started acting like it.